Welcome into our lives.
And welcome to the Expanders Club podcast.
We're so happy to have you.
Join us as we embark on a journey of deep exploration, soul searching, and asking the hard questions.
With the goal of truly understanding the most aligned, empowered, and purposeful versions of ourselves.
We want to live an extraordinary life, and we're willing to dig deep to find out what it takes.
Buckle up. You're about to meet a new version of yourself, an extraordinary one. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Expanders Club podcast, and in fact, a very special episode, the second episode in a new series that I'm doing with my dear friend and very talented psychic, Christina, who's here with me, called Ask a Psychic. Hi, Christina. Welcome to episode 2.
Yay. I'm so excited for this one. It was super juicy and special, and we're learning they all are. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Dude, how fun is this? Like, how fun is You guys, we are having so much fun. And we're only 2 episodes in.
Yeah, it's been really, really expansive, and I'm really excited about it. And this one features Lindsay Akey, who is a somatic practitioner, healer. And as we were talking about how to introduce her, we were like, wait, that was her whole question, was like, what am I doing, with this work, and where am I going? And so it's a really good one to kind of jump into for anyone asking themselves that question and how to inquire and navigate something like that.
Yeah, I think purpose is a big one on people's minds, right? I'm sure similar. I wonder if it's similar for you, but I would say 90% of my sessions are about purpose or lead back to purpose in some way.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, and I get that too a lot, or career, what am I doing? And they're all so unique. Everyone has such a unique imprint in their soul. And one thing that was really exciting about Lindsay's is that she felt so ageless. That was something that really came through. And we almost had to stop redirecting that whole conversation to open up that whole can of worms, because it's such an interesting thing. And so here we are. We're going to talk about that today a little bit. And it's on our minds because someone has a birthday coming up.
Yes. I guess that would be me. You guys, actually, this episode will probably air right around July 18th. Is my 40th birthday. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it feels really good. I almost said it actually feels really good, but we're gonna remove that word, right? It feels really good. 40, although I don't know that my brain's fully processed the number.
Yeah.
Right? I thought it would take a lot longer to get here. I don't know, I thought I'd have a yacht and a house in France, and a younger version of me pictured it a little bit different. But I'm actually so content, so happy, feel so good, feel so whole and clear, and it feels really good. I feel like I'm an adult finally.
Yeah. Is that what that number 40 means to you? Is that you're do you look at it as a new decade? Do you look at, you just reflected on some things that you feel almost like a past self looking into your future self, but here you are in the present. What did that mean to you? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I think as I'm approaching, it feels like a start of a new chapter, a big new chapter, not necessarily a decade or a year. It feels like a big new chapter, and one probably my truest chapter, where I am just not that I've ever tried to not be my truest self. I always thought I was, right? Until we do the work and shed some of the conditioning. But I feel like I'm just this, life is good. Let me be me. Let me enjoy this chapter, that's what it feels like.
I'm excited for you, as someone 1 year ahead, actually 6 months ahead, right? Actually, no, I'll be 42 in November. So, okay. So see, that was a perfect example, Brooke. I've always not understood a number, and it's not because I forget. I don't identify it. And I find myself navigating towards people who feel ageless as well.
Yes.
I find that that's really important. You know, I meet people and they're like surprised that I'm as old as I am, and I don't think that's because I look a certain way. You know, I haven't done
No,
Botox or filler or anything, but
you look 32.
okay, great. But I think to your point, like I feel younger. And so I feel like the surprise or like maybe how I'm navigating the world or things that I'm doing. I just have this like childlike wonder, I think, about me, I'm told,
Yes.
that keeps you really excited to learn. And so while I'm really proud and confident about like I'm standing on this experience, you know, I have this yeah, life experience. I also feel like I don't know anything. I'm still learning. Like I'm still young. I'm using my brain. I want to learn. I want to meet new people all the time. I want to, you know, really experience life to the fullest. And so, yeah, when I think about my age or when I see someone reflect an age back to themselves or me, I'm like, huh? I don't get that totally, you know?
I totally relate to that, and I think a lot of people around me do, and I think that it's kind of an old way of thinking, right? That like one you we've seen it in people much older, like age is it's whatever you put on it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're like, okay, I'm old, then the life around you is going to start looking and feeling old, and your body's going to
Yeah.
start feeling old, and you're completely shifting your mentality. But if you have a young mentality, if you are curious, if you have this like gusto and zest for life, I think that, I mean, I've met your 80-year-old grandmother and I felt like she had
84.
and has 84-year-old grandmother.
Yeah.
She has that. She had so much like excitement and joy for life that it was really inspiring. And it's like age really is just a number.
Yeah. It you know, and again, like, well, I want to go back to something because I feel like it's important. I just mentioned like I haven't done anything cosmetically to
Hmm.
my appearance. And I just want to note, like, I support that. There is no judgment for people who do that. I have wanted to do it. I've wanted to do, you know, Ozempic, all the things that are trendy and that people are loving. And for me, when I check into my body, it's just a no. I have a sensitive body. My mental health, you know, just decisions that feel like, you know, these aren't the best things for me. And it feels almost like a grief, like I'm being like left behind
Hmm.
in some way when I look at other, you know, appearances. And when I really like dig into that, I'm like, well, that's just society or maybe the patriarchy. Like I'm a single woman putting myself out there
Yes.
and being
Yes.
vulnerable to like being assessed by things like looks right away, right?
Yeah.
Especially as
Oh,
like you're
yeah.
swiping, it's like boom.
Yes.
You
The
know, you
swipe
I feel
culture
it.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. So it's been a hard choice. It's not without, yeah, like
Well, we also
frustration.
see our own faces more than we ever have, and other people see our faces
Yeah.
more than they ever like it.
Right.
You know, if I think about like growing up, seeing older photos of my mom throughout her years, it
Mm,
was like there were like four photos in rotation that I ever saw of my mom, right?
mm.
You know, like
Yeah.
in her 20s and
Right.
30s.
Yeah.
And now they're just we're on display all the time, no matter if you're doing it for your job or not. In our
Yeah.
daily life, we are putting our face on display. So I think that, and then Zoom, and that gives us a very different relationship with our appearance. But
Mhm.
I do want to touch on something you said, and this may get me some hate mail or dislikes. Hate mail, I mean, no one's
Yeah.
emailing me, but you can't have my email. But I you said like, you know, the Ozempic and the Botox and whatever, and like you support it and you do you. I don't feel that way.
Mm,
Like I feel like it's a deeper thing. And I think, of course, I'm not judging anyone who does that. Like I understand the root of it and where it's coming from. And I understand when you are just like what you just talked about, when we're surrounded by a society that wants to anti-age and is always fighting against aging
yeah.
and wants to look younger, and we're judged instantly by how we look. I understand completely how people go that direction. But it's like when you dig into the root of all of it, I think it's actually pretty fucked up. And it's actually like it's not like, oh girl, you do you, whatever makes you feel good. Like that is not what's happening.
I'm
Okay.
if I'm hearing correctly, so yeah, there's thank you for that. And I know I think being authentic is huge. I guess what we're feeling into is layered, and on like a human level, like you making decisions every step of the way, that's what I support. Now you can undo
Hmm.
it, you can feel it, but what you're talking about, what I will agree with you and I will co-sign this feeling is like on a collective level, there is an energy behind it which says we are not enough.
Yes.
We do not as a collective agree to age together the way that we are. We do not agree to make healthier choices
Hmm.
and put down the vape in order to make our skin look more,
Hmm. Right.
like collagen filled. Like just again, no judgment on those choices, but as a whole, you're feeling into like this isn't good for the collective on a whole. And I think we can both agree there. Am I saying that
Uh,
correctly? Is that sort of how your heart is
oh,
sharing that?
absolutely. Thank you
Yeah.
for saying it, packaging it in a much more beautiful way. And I also think I really believe that like the answer to everything is unconditional self-love, right?
Yeah,
That's the
of
baseline
course.
for everything that solves a lot of the problems happening in the world. It um is the most empowering thing for us. And so in my work and part of my purpose is like leading people back to unconditional self-love. And it's not self-love as long as I don't have wrinkles, or self-love
Totally.
as long as I am a certain weight, or
Mhm.
self-love as long as other people think I look good, right? Like it is. And so I think if we could put more emphasis and attention on like how do I achieve wholeness?
Yeah.
How do I love myself?
Hmm.
Like we would put the Botox and injection industry out of business, because when you are whole, when you're operating from that place, when you love yourself, like you look very different in the mirror.
It's so true. It's a radiance. It's that kind of like energy that we're talking about being ageless. And I have to say, like, it's a radical choice to feel this way. Like, I have to actively hunt and search for women that are aging out loud to inspire me, to look forward to that, to look at these examples and say, wow, that's someone who really has owned themselves and hasn't, is full of self-love, like, and zest and all of these great
Yeah.
things. And yeah, that's not an easy thing to find. Like I have to
Yes.
really train my algorithm to give me these images and find these women. And I've done it, but it's certainly not the majority at all.
One thing that's helped me is having a daughter, right?
Mm,
And putting myself in the position of like, what if she ever wanted to use like a filter on social media, which like, God, I dread the day she
mm,
has access to social media, right? But what would I say to her? Be like, you don't need a filter. Why would you use a filter? If she ever wanted to do anything to her, even wearing makeup, I'd be like,
yeah,
you don't need makeup. You are beautiful.
yeah,
And if I feel that way about her, why can I feel that way about myself? And I also need to be the example for
yeah,
her, right? Right? If mom is using filters, if mom is having negative self-talk, if mom is trying to hide or change herself constantly, like what example is that to her, who I believe, and I'm sure anyone with kids or nieces or that's around young girls can relate to this, like she is so perfect and there's never going to be any moment in her life where she's not perfect, right?
yeah.
So if I can feel that for someone else and believe that for someone else, why can't I do that for myself? Right.
No, it's so true. I look at so many people with such love and like, what? Why would you say that? Like
Yes.
the lines around your eyes mean you're smiling so much.
Yes.
Like that's
Yes.
beautiful. Like I really do look at people that way. And yeah, and it's a challenge. And you mentioned something like about your daughter who's so sweet and I love so much. She, you're talking about generations and almost like legacy. And so I feel like our generation is one that has really found the like we were there before the internet and then we came into the internet and now AI
Hmm.
and the filters and all the things. It's wild. But if we look at our elders, I feel like in that we're really leaving them behind. And I can imagine as lonely as I feel in feeling this way and advocating for aging out loud, like, I do, it's not that they don't give a fuck. It's like they also feel like, what about us? And when I was
Hmm.
on that road trip with my 84-year-old grandmother, the sidewalks weren't accessible and she's like mobile, she's kicking, right? But
Yeah.
even if you just look at spaces or technology, I came from Silicon Valley and there's so much emphasis put on building things to make people who are capable even more capable and making more money and all of those things. But like, what about technology for the elders? You know,
Hmm.
how are we taking care of them? And so I think it's like a real, like, deep societal issue that we just kind of like, in saying like, I don't want to age and I don't want to look like I'm aging, then we actually reject becoming an elder and aging. And
Yes.
I just like,
Yes.
that breaks my heart. And so part of why I'm really like 10 toes down on this and just being like, I'm just gonna grit through even when it feels hard, is like, we have to take care of each other as we age, and we have to be able to see this is aging, you know?
Yes. Yeah, I love that perspective, and you're so true. It's almost like we, past a certain age, people don't matter. And because we don't want to see that, we don't want to look
Yeah,
like that, we don't want to
yeah.
think about our own evolution into being that age. Yeah, that's really interesting. And it's like, how exhausting. How exhausting to fight something that is inevitable. Like, we are aging. There is this guy. He's actually I don't know if you've seen this. His name is, what is it? Brian something, the Don't Die guy. Have you heard of him?
Oh my
He's
gosh.
out of Silicon Valley.
Yes.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
That's
I
a
mean,
mental illness.
yes, it is. Some of it, like, okay, like I could see it's like a bit of a marketing tactic for maybe a better cause of like teaching people how to be healthy, but it's not fully. Like, he's pretty serious about like reverse aging and not dying. And it's like, this is something he brings up. My husband and I watched a documentary on him because Dennis got into it a little bit, just like because it is kind of fascinating. And this guy
Yeah.
is
Oh
literally,
yeah.
he's morphing into, he is reverse aging. But it's creepy. And he like dedicates his entire day to it.
Yeah.
He's not out there living. And it's like, you could do all that, but you could also walk out the front door and like get hit by a bus. And then there's
Yeah.
so the whole not dying thing is not possible, and the
Yeah.
whole not aging thing really isn't possible. And so how exhausting to have it on your mind, to be combating it all the time, to be spending the money, spending the effort, spending the energy, like, to fight something that is inevitable. It can't
100%.
be
No,
fought.
that's such a good point. That guy is super freaking creepy, and I saw a little bit, and I was like, I cannot. But let's go back to like thinking about this, what we do, which is like, we work with the soul, you know, and we work with the spirit world. And so like, our perspective too is resourcing that soul and filling the soul up with so much love, so that when you do pass away, which again, as a society, we don't face death in the way that, you know, cultures could, and that's a whole other topic. But like, we see the soul as ageless and perfect, and so we really work with that part of people's bodies and, yeah, spirits. But I think what you're touching on too, and where we have a shared issue, is that we see the spiritual world and these girlies who are coming out and saying, live your life, make these beautiful choices, have your best soul, fill yourself with self-worth. And it's a little hypocritical, because they're coming in, they're cutting their bodies up, and they're doing all these things. So yeah, I'm just curious, like, from a spiritual lens of like our work, what, how do you feel about
Yes,
that specifically?
I would, you know, if there's a psychic that is getting work done, surgeries, injections, anything like that, I would run in the other direction, because I think that is, I believe, I have seen, I've experienced, like, that is the foundational piece of this work. And
Yeah.
like, of course you can be psychic and tap into these things without that foundation, but the genuineness of the guidance, I think the real skill comes, and the real gifts come when you have that foundation again of like unconditional self-love, of wholeness. And so if you are doing this work and not operating from a place of wholeness, how can you hold that space for your clients, would
Yeah.
be my question. And yeah, it's just so funny, because what you said earlier is the language we're taught to use as women. Like, oh, don't worry, I'm not judging. Like, you do you, right?
Yeah.
But like, we're just reinforcing this like disgusting loop. Like, if we all just were like, fuck it, we're
Yeah.
not going to do the surgeries, we're not going to do the Botox, we're not going to do the injections, we are just going to age and have fun. First of all, we would age much slower, because it's, when something's on your mind and you're like combating it, like,
Yeah. I
you
know.
know,
It's true. And this is a nuanced topic and it's complex and I wonder like, I'm thinking about the people. So we agree, like if we see a psychic or someone who's a healer and they preach all of these things, but they're clearly signaling that they don't treat their own life that way, or but then there's the client side of someone who comes into me, right? And they're doing all these surgeries and these things are temporarily, at the very least, making them feel better. It's like, how do I meet them in a space where I really leave behind any judgment or
Mhm.
agenda to change them at all? And so much of this work, where we come from, and I've seen you and I know me, is like I fully meet them where they're at. And so there's this two-part thing of like, yes, we feel this way and feel so strongly. So then a client comes into you and they're kind of like, say, an extreme version of what you're talking about.
Mhm.
How would you, yeah, navigate that really and like get right with yourself to be present and
Yeah.
non-judging and not have an agenda? Or do you
I
have an agenda?
I love that question, and I would say, like, I as much as I maybe am using my in my humanness using harsh language, I'm not judging. Like,
Yeah,
I get it,
yeah,
and especially when I'm in the space as my psychic self with a client, like I get it, and I can see all the as a human, I can see all the reasons and understand, and certainly as a psychic, I can see all the reasons and understand. And I would say my human and my psychicness, like it's more of just like my heart
yeah,
hurts
yeah.
and is sad. My heart is sad that, I just want everyone to feel whole and to really love themselves. And as we had talked about, when we open the gates to see someone in that way, we can really just see
Hmm.
all of the best pieces of them. And like, we just want to package it up and bring it to them and allow them to see it. But so often there's a gap between what we see and know as their highest, brightest, best, like all the great things about them, and what people actually see themselves as. And I think that is actually the work that we're constantly doing, is trying to bridge that gap, trying to sprinkle more of that, and like lead to place the breadcrumbs to lead them to the path where like they see exactly what we see about them.
Yeah, no, that's so beautifully said. And it's true. Like, I know your heart so much, and we can have opinions on earth as human beings. And so much of this work is, we set a ceremony, we have a sacred practice where we really do leave ourselves out of it when we show up with people and with clients, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this little space that we have right now, before we show you what the session with Lindsay is like, actually, we have opinions and we want to share them. And hopefully, someone feels really seen in this and feels really heard and feels loved. And when we speak to each other, we want to speak to the collective. We want to touch people's hearts. And maybe one of you is in a moment of making a decision, and their intuition is telling them like, this doesn't feel right, but
Yeah.
culturally you're saying like, this would be a really good thing and I would fix this. And I invite you to pause and have that conversation and maybe just create more spaciousness. And so yeah, I
Yeah.
just really want to kind of end on that note. Do you have any final thoughts or?
I just
Yeah.
want to say that, even though, just like you said, even though we have these thoughts and opinions, and we are not going to do anything to adjust our faces, because we, bring it back to, anytime we would think about it, we would bring it back to wholeness. We still do have those moments. Like, I see, like, I have crow's feet. I
Mhm.
see, I am aging, you know?
Amazing.
And that is just a fact. Like I said, we all
Mhm.
are, but like, I see things, and I have moments where I'm like, man, that's a bummer. There's another wrinkle. Or I've had things, I think too, the journey of to and through wholeness, and doing it through this way of like judging yourself, and then digging into what comes up. Like, I think that is its own really beautiful experience. Like, I for a while like was getting really annoyed at my how I like squint my eyes when I smile and laugh, because now there's 1,000 pictures a day of us, and we get to like examine and pull ourselves apart. And then I did a visit back home, and it was around my brother and sister, and we have the exact same smile, and we
Mm.
do the same thing with our eyes, and I love it on them. And I was like, you know what? I actually love this about me, because it makes me look more like my brother and sister. And so I think there's a whole journey in there of like just like love and self-appreciation, and just very different perspectives that we can take if we can get out of our own way.
Oh, I love that. It's such a sweet note to end on. And again, we're really excited for you to meet Lindsay, for you to see the journey that we supported her on in this session, and listen out for the part where we talk about her agelessness, because I think you'll really love it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks,
Thank-
Christina. Always
Yeah.
so great being with you. Thanks for going, weeding through this topic with me. It's a touchy one, and if anyone has anything to say about it, DM us. We would love to hear if we've inspired you to maybe drop the filter or maybe cancel your next Botox appointment. Great. We would love to hear that. And if you'd like to work with either one of us on wholeness, self-love, getting more connected to yourself, changing your perspective on aging, you know where to find us. Just shoot us a DM on Instagram.
Yep. And if you'd like to be on Ask a Psychic, you can send us a DM. We'd love to hear what you're thinking about and how we can guide you.
Yes. All right, guys. Enjoy
Love
this
you
one.
all.
We'll see you
Bye.
soon. All right, Christina, I'm all good. The gang's all here. The guides, the masters, the lords, the loved ones, the soul. So I'm good to go.
Okay, great. All right, let's blink our eyes back open when you're ready. Lindsay, hi, welcome.
Hi. Thanks, Christina.
We are so excited to have you here, and thank you for being part of this vulnerable exploration of a topic in your life. Before we get into it, I'd love to know a little bit more about you, kind of what's led you to the space that you're in now, and anything else you want to share before we get into it.
Sure. What is there to know about me? I'm a mother. I have 3 kids. We live in Ojai, California.
Mm.
My work is I'm a somatic and mindfulness practitioner, and I previously owned a restaurant in Texas. That's where I'm from. And I I like to hold a lot, do a lot of things, and sometimes it's very full. That's in definitely the season right now. It's like it's very full, like, oh, what am I gonna do? And without like such a long story, at least for the last like 6 years, I've been on this path, maybe 8, of like just like following these random big or small intuitive hits.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm sitting right here.
Your intuition led you to us, which is the
Yeah.
best. It's the best guide. That's what we like to hear when someone is, meeting with a psychic, like that your intuition led here and not your fear or, other things.
Yes. Yeah. And I am in this, even though I am in a busy season and like holding a lot, what I feel is this there is some fear, but like this confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like searching or moving out of fear, I would say, but I am kind of like, what's next? And maybe like, is there enough courage to do what's next?
Okay. Is that your question? What's next?
Yeah. Specific. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And there's going to be layers to this question, of course. And I have a lot of information to give you. So, and I'm sure Christina does too. So, we're going to go down some paths here. But first, I do have to share, just because I think this is funny, the title that you have. Tell me again, somatic worker and mindfulness coach.
Right.
Your guides don't love it. They don't
Me
love
neither.
it.
I don't either.
Exactly. It feels very small and compact compared to what you are, what you're here to do, the whole package that you offer. Like, it feels so small compared to this aura that is you and what you have to offer. So mostly just sharing that because it was funny. It was like very clear. Christine, I don't know if you picked up on that too, but they were like, nah, no, that's not what she is.
Yeah. It felt like almost static. Like I heard it, I understood the like words, but it didn't, feel deep in the way that you feel deep.
Yeah, you are so deep and you're so expansive, and there's this like beautiful, grounded magic to you. The visual I get is like this combination of like Glenda the Good Witch and the fairy godmother from Cinderella, like this just like loving, beaming light, ready to guide and help people. And something that I have, you know, a lot of these conversations are about purpose. And Christina, I'd love your feedback on this too. But something that I've seen, and I'm being shown again, is there are some people on this planet, lucky or not, you happen to be one of them, Lindsay, that have multiple purposes. So a lot of us, a lot of humans, like the purpose is to be the most expansive human that we can, right? And everyone that as I've seen, like that is definitely number one. But then there's this group of souls that has this additional purpose, has a parallel purpose, and that is to help the greater collective. And the labels that are being put on your purpose are it's always so funny because it's like so much less profound and wild than we think, right? Like you're here to teach people how to live. And that might sound really simple in this moment, but that is actually a really complicated thing. Like the information I'm getting is like, look, we are so far away from operating the way that we were meant to operate, to really have this true physical experience. And you're here to, one, first of all, of course, always it starts with you, like you living and showing how to live. But then and just doing it in your own life. But there's almost this like retraining of the population that needs to happen to teach us like really what we're here for and how we're here to operate. It's like creating and showing a new operating manual for people.
Yeah,
Christine, I'll give you some space.
Yeah, I'm watching Lindsay absorb that for a moment. Echoing everything that Brooke said, I want to kind of get into like the details. Like, so what? Okay, that's great. That feels true. How do you get there? What are things kind of like that we can release and let be free in your body and your experience to be able to bridge this, right? First of all, I just want to say, like, right when we started channeling you, so much started happening in my body, which is your body. It was crazy. Like, first of all, the light became so bright, I could barely see you with my eyes closed. So there's a lot of spirit guide, power, angels, all of that, like divinity around you in a way that is pretty rare to see. Like, it's just one openness. It's not like one ancestor is necessarily coming in this moment. It was just sort of like the heavens gates open. And I was like, whoa, okay, like we're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing is my nose started really itching and my left eye felt like something was in it. So yeah, what I was giving that is like there's a place in your third eye that is literally blocked. Like it almost feels like you have something that you need to remove out of it that you're not seeing, you know, the other side of completely. And so we really want to get that third eye open. You're also it's interesting, even if you didn't say that you were in the somatic work, like you're so clairsentient. You get all intuition and psychic hits through your body, which can be overwhelming to you at times because, you know, that's not always convenient. We really want to conduct your body to give you lots of like, is this a yes? Is this a no? How can I move? But set containers for that. This is the time where I have to do that. I don't need my body overwhelmed when I'm in the middle of driving my kids to camp. So tingling on your nose is actually one of your indicators that something is like, right. It's almost like you're going to be like, okay, like, here we go. Like, I feel this. So like really pay attention. It's not allergies. You don't have like a hair there. It's like, literally, I want you to just start noticing and like jotting that down and what you were thinking and feeling and bringing in or who you were around when that happens. The other thing is your body doesn't love dry heat like a ton. And you're in a place, I believe, with like access to ocean, but also you're in like a hot, right? Dry, deserty sort of climate. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please speak. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna. It's not that hot to me since I'm used to Texas. I'm like, this is fine. What are y'all talking about? But I can understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, the overheating, there's a lot of heat in your body that's generated. And just because you feel like, oh, I'm at home in this heat, doesn't mean that your body's not aching for some cooling in order to create more freedom and release in your body. So that's sort of what I mean. It's almost like, yeah, I can deal with hard things. It's like, yes, but why would you want to have to create? Just because you're so strong doesn't mean you have to be, right? And so we're really bringing in some like soothing to that. And the other thing I saw was horses, like right away. It was like more animals, more animals, more animals, and horses. And are you around horses or anything that you have access to there?
I definitely live near horses, and I have a friend who has some horses, and it
Great.
has been on my, it's like something's happening there, but I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
what. Yeah.
kindred spirits for sure. Like you look into you, I bet you'll be able to communicate with those horses. Like I bet you will look into their eyes and be able to communicate with them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's intuitive like courses and things with horses. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but yeah, this is like a wisdom place for you to go.
Mm.
Animals for sure, but horses. So that's a way to open as well.
Yeah, and Christina, I think the thing that I'm seeing, I saw this before, and then when you brought it up again about something being blocked in the third eye,
Hmm.
Lindsay, what's coming through there is this like this belief, whether it's fully conscious or not, this belief that you are too much,
Mm.
that in your fullness, as your most expressed version of yourself, you are too much, and that people won't be able to handle that.
Hmm.
And so there's this like, and that's probably what the shutting off of part of the third eye is. There's like literally a dimming of the light to be like, you do well at expressing yourself, but there's this like limitation you put on like fully this it's almost like your hands are here instead of like out here like fully expressing yourself, and there's this belief, and I'm curious if this resonates with you. There's this belief that like it is not safe for you to fully be yourself because you're just too much for other people.
Yeah, I think that feels true. It like in this moment it's a little confusing because I'm like, what is that? But I can feel emotion coming up, and it is true. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like I'm so curious like what water you have in your chart, because also I feel like you need to be accessing water.
Yeah.
I feel like this Cancer season, like this season that we're in right now, and of course it's always divine timing when you talk to one of us, like it's always divine timing, but I feel like this season feels like a really beautiful season for you to like just like breathe and settle into being you. It feels like a very grounding, safe season, which is like some of the like your natural essence is you are grounding and you are safe, you are a safe place. And so I would say like let the cosmos, let the energy of this season like remind you of those parts of you, and let and be a place that you can settle into, a place that you can ground, a place that you can feel held, since you're so good at doing that for everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a Pisces stellium. Um,
Mm.
and
We're like, go to water, please.
yeah, and I am around a lot of water and not like being there as much as
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's really true.
I think that's like a goal for you for the summer. Get around water. Is like it is very effective and productive for you to be around water. Like you will have clarity, you will have the aha moments, you will have that like you will experience the truest expression of yourself when you're in and near water, and that will be something that you can hold on to and then practice being that in different moments in your life.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, that's beautiful. To the third eye, opening and the story of like you feeling like too much. The place that you can start in the building of that is you're overwhelmed and within your own system. I kind of like touched on that. It's like what like you privately know yourself to be really extremely intuitive and psychic, and it kind of freaks you out. There's some circumstance with your children, maybe around birth or times that you've kind of opened up and been like, I have a sense that this is going to happen, and people like shut your intuition down. And so you're sort of like, I have to close this down for me. Like knowing what I know is almost like kind of scary to you, or it can be like overwhelming to be like so powerful in your intuition and feelings. And so the number one thing to do is to just practice that safety and nurturing yourself privately before you sort of start singing out loud of like, actually, this is how it is and this is how I want to move in the world. And so really building that confidence of like, your intuition is not crazy. These are big things and big feelings. You can trust them. Just really self-talk with yourself first and then start expressing outside. And yeah, there's like, your children are your soul children. There's been many children around you, like spirit babies galore. I don't know if you've had lots or thinking about having more, but like, there's just like, you're like, I could bring in a whole brood, like I could keep going, you know? And so, yeah, even you stopping at 3 felt like almost restrictive for you. So we need to birth a new baby in your career, when your family feels complete, but you really have to give birth to things over and over in order to feel complete in your life. So what can we plan? Like, what can we impregnate you with to be able to like birth? And that is a new path. That is a new something that you're being interested in. It could be with the horses. It could be something with water. But like, almost like take the focus off your kids a little bit, because it's like that energy, that mothering, that like laser focus. It's almost too it doesn't need to be so laser focused right now. You can kind of take that lens out and be like, I'm the mother to the world.
Yes.
Or,
Yes. That's what I get to. That mothering energy feels so natural to you. Like just like the guide, the compassion, the safe place, like that just feels like so much a part of your essence. And it's like, how do we step back and expand that? Because it's meant for everyone, not just your family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How is all this feeling? What questions is it bringing up?
Yeah, I mean, it all feels true. So like specifically with career or purpose, I even like get annoyed with the word purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's like one thing. But there's still, it's like there is this like teaching aspect that I love, but you're right. It's like these two things, like the labels aren't hitting it. You're right. It's not like, I do love our body as a tool and our mind, but it's not just that. And what's really been true is this more just like creative aspect or creative field, but I don't really know what that is. So then I'll, like trying to like narrow it down or put it in a container or label, I get lost, I guess.
Yes, I guess I would ask why do you need to put it in a container or label it?
Yeah, good question. I don't know.
Because that feels it feels very counter to you and your existence and how you're meant to operate in the world. And going back to what I said in the beginning, like it is essentially like the energy you're bringing is this, you're so right on, you are a teacher and a guide, but it is a complete like rewriting and rewiring of the way that we operate as humans, and like taking all the little micro trends that we all see happening, like the homesteading, the slowing down, but like putting that into like, here is how we rewire ourselves to live, to enjoy this human experience, I don't, maximize is not the right word, but to maximize this human experience. Like this is how we live. People don't know how to live. We talk about purpose as if it's our career or, work. We spend X amount of time at work for what, what's the ROI? Like it's this whole readjusting of the value system and teaching people how to live and showcasing in your own life, like living is enough. Living is abundant. Living is freedom. Living, what you are here seeking is to live. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why I need to like, or there is not, I need to, there feels like there is a need to like narrow it down I don't know, that might even be like a distraction.
I think because and this is totally normal. Like I see that you're doing the same thing we've all done. It's like you're trying to package it up for social media. You're trying to package it up for a website. You're trying to make it easy to translate to people. But everyone on the planet is evolving, and this is what people are going to be seeking. They're literally going to be seeking, like, how do I learn how to live? And that might not be the exact language you use to share it, right? Like you have to make the language your own, but it's as simple as like you start to showcase the example, you choose the language you want to use around this, and you start to showcase it, and people are going to be seeking it.
Mm-hmm. And purpose to that point, that beautiful point, is like reframing everything. Like the way you brush your hair, like, has purpose. The way that you booked a flight and accidentally it was the wrong date. That is you do that. I know. I'm like, only once, but you hold on to it. Like, like, oh man, like I'm better than that. Like, that is purpose. That is like every way that you are flawed, that you are human, that there's beauty in every moment. That is your whole point of being here on this earth. And what we're breaking open in the intimacy of your own intuition and being safer and safer in your body is to live more vulnerably in spaces of your own story, that there's so much magnetism. Again, like I just keep seeing this huge light, and then you're laser beaming it at all these things, and it's just burning that thing up. It's not necessarily like keeping the whole light on. And so keep pulling out and having big pictures and going into your own experience and body. I'm also being told to ask about, I'm just seeing the Midwest keep coming up. I don't know if that means anything to you. Do you have any connection to it?
I mean, my mom lives in Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like ancestral almost feels like there's a place of you, or she's calling you almost like, why aren't you here? Or can I come there? Or like, there just feels like a chord. So I'm just gonna break that and release that, because your connection to the Midwest feels staticky, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of let that release. We won't get into the mom stuff, but that's what I like. Really.
And my mom's cool.
Yeah, great.
I love her.
Yeah, I see you playing like
here.
Oh, okay. So that's what I mean. There's a lot of like, it's almost like geopolitically or geographically, you're like, I don't know why I said that. Maybe there's something there, but like neither one of you feel exactly where you are. There's a chord, even in the loving the mom and thinking you're so cool and her wanting to be around. There's a chord that's keeping you both a little unstable and not allowing you to totally fly free into your purpose. Like what will, even if you want to be like cool for mom, like I love these parts of her, like that's still an energetic chord that you can kind of release. Like, who are you completely? And so we're not letting go of her or not sending, all the love and all the goodness. It's just, yeah, we're going into this a little bit, but just why the freedom of your own being and really stabilizing where you both are physically is so important. So that's a piece of that puzzle as well.
Yeah. Lindsay, you are literally a witch. Like, as soon as I tapped in, I was like, oh, this chick's a witch. Like, in a really good, like, there's so much, as Christina touched on, like, the light, there's so much magic around you.
Yeah.
And I think that the getting to the place of ease and flow is really important for you. And it's really just like, will you allow yourself to get to the place of ease and flow? Will you allow yourself to fully lean into following your intuition? Will you allow yourself to fully step out of that box and fully express yourself, not having to know what the outcome is going to be or where you're going, but just knowing like, hey, if I can show up for myself as myself in every moment, I will know the exact right next step to take.
Yeah.
Your target audience, if we're just going to use, career terms, like as limiting as that is, but you have one idea of the people that you want to reach or that you should reach or that look a certain way or even an aesthetic, and you're actually serve a completely different group of people.
That's true right now.
Yeah. Okay, great.
That's literally true right now.
Tell us about that, Lindsay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you basically said it. It's like my actual clients aren't like what I thought they would be. And I love them. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And even in that, I'm like, oh, is this because I'm like this label or and actually I don't believe that, because what I know is that like whatever's in front of me is like what I'm meant to do. But there's more there.
Yes, very much. It's like, it's like you're just down here playing and like haven't lifted your head up to see like, oh, there's this whole world that I'm supposed to be operating in. And I think that first, like, removing that, I think this is why it came up, and it was like they were like so clear and like a little bit, a little bit harsh about it at first, like removing that label, or at least stepping outside of that label that you have for yourself, which I know can be kind of uncomfortable. Like that should be like a first step. Like, you're not a somatic, and what was the other part?
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness coach. Like that feels so, it feels so small compared to like, let me teach you how to live.
Yeah.
Like mindfulness, okay, I can be mindful in different parts of my day, and like it can be a practice, and like, cool, I can meditate. Like that's not enough. That's not big enough.
Yeah. And Spirit just wants to reflect, you are well on your way. There is nothing about the timing that you are behind on, and like really need to hear, like this is like firmly rooted where you are in the present is so out the gates. And we just are opening doors and letting the light in and letting the light in. And you're going to be so completely just starstruck by the universe and divine source, like all that it can provide for you. So it's really just, you feel so much freer even in this short time in your body. There's so much space. Like your soul is gorgeous. I just want to hang out with it. You are timeless and ageless. They want you to know that too. Like age just doesn't exist for you. Just it's such an honor to be with your soul and your highest self, and again in this unfolding. And I hope you hear that we see nothing but incredible things for you, and I hope that this gave you just more confidence and courage to let your freak flag fly and be yourself and drop labels and containers and just be yourself as much as you allow, and offer that to the universe. Say, help me.
Yes.
I offer you to help me be more of myself. Please speak through me, work through me, be through me, show me the people who are meant to come, and I'm going to get out of the way.
That was exactly the final message I was getting to Christina. It's like they want you to, every morning that you wake up or do your, your morning routine or whatever ritual you have, they want you to just ask, how can I be the most me today? And they will tell you.
Yeah, love it.
So we have a fun question to ask you, but first we just would love to know, like, what's one thing that you're going to take away and remember from this?
I mean, there's so much. I think what is most illuminated right now is really trusting the bigness. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's so big. It's so big.
It's really infinite. It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah. This is why I was so giddy when I got on. I was like, oh, there's a lot of magic and light and like big stuff happening.
And thank you both so much for just reflecting that.
Oh, you're so welcome.
So
it's our honor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we love to ask, what's your psychic party trick? Like a way that intuition comes up for you, a surprise or delight, the way that it shows up. Like, for example, you're thinking of a friend and then she calls.
I don't know. I mean, I just will say I just know things are going to happen. I just have many instances and memories. I have this maybe I shouldn't even say this on here, but I'm going to. I have this one memory when I was like 20 of me seeing my friend meeting this new person, and they were in a different relationship, and as soon as these people met, I was like, oh, they're gonna be together. They are together. Like 20 years ago. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but they're gonna be together. Stuff like that. So I don't know if that's a party
That's
trick.
perfect. No, that
it's
is
a party trick that maybe I just kind of only talk to my
Don't
husband
tell
about.
anyone.
Yeah, we have to move.
yeah. That example was like
Yes.
Cupid's arrow. Like maybe, you know, like that's like
Well,
you know where the love is going.
Christina
maybe,
doesn't.
yeah.
I don't think Christina knows that you and your husband like kind of picked up out of the blue. You went to your husband and said, "We got to move," and you like shut down your entire life in Texas and moved your whole family.
That checks out.
So, and that is like a truly, you know, divinely guided, truly following your intuition and being like, this doesn't make any sense, but we're moving.
Yeah. And I think that like is an expression of bigness that after that I was like, and now what? And so I'm done with the now what, like the real contraction that needed to happen.
Yes.
So there is this reopening and the exploration of like, how big can I comfortably be?
How big can you uncomfortably be?
Oh,
Until it's comfortable. Until it's
Totally.
comfortable.
Yeah.
right.
You know, because, and I think even giving language to what you just said of like, there's the, people think that like doing the thing is the hard part, right? Like, okay, I'm going to move, and now you move. They don't realize like after you, what I call make the quantum leap, there's this whole other stage of stuff that you're dealing with, and integration and settling in and figuring out how to operate in this new level, this new timeline, this new energy. And I think even sharing a bit more of that and like putting words to that like would be helpful, because I think a lot of people we talk about like taking the leap, right? And like everyone's like ready to take the leap now, or willing to take, everyone's leaping, right? But no one knows how to land and how to integrate in that landing and what that looks like.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like the antithesis of like messy manifestation. What is that like to embody? Like those are the words I'm kind of hearing.
I
So
love that.
okay, good. On that note, we could talk to you forever. We're gonna close up the space. Just take a moment and take a few deep breaths.
Lindsay's soul is trying to negotiate a revisit. She's like, I can come back. Like, when should I come back? Lindsay, thank you. That was
Thank you
So much.
Truly
so lovely.
wonderful.
I hope you enjoy the afterglow of the records, because there's usually like a really beautiful energetic lift, and I hope you can see a little bit of what we saw, because it and you are freaking pure magic.
Thank you. Oh,
Keep us posted. Please keep us
so
updated.
wonderful.
We
Thank
want to
you.
know the things and how to love and support you. We're there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll be watching. You better be living your biggest life.
No, no, I
No, you've got this, my friend. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging with us. If you would like to be a guest and have Christina and I do a reading, please shoot us a DM. And if you resonate with Lindsay's story or have any words of encouragement, of course, DM us or hit her up as well. Thank you all.
Thank you.